welcome or welcome back. My name is Jennifer, and here on my channel I like to chat about all things beauty and makeup. And I am currently in the process of doing my collection and declutter. I did a huge collection and declutter video last year that I recorded and never posted, so I'm gonna make sure to actually post it this time. I'm not going to do a specific special intro and outro for each video because that's just too much work. And if I try to do that, I won't do it. I just won't. I know myself. So I will do this by categories, and I will have the category listed in the thumbnail or the title of the video, or both. And just general housekeeping things. Anything that I have that is available will be listed on my Mercari page, which when it's listed, when I have things listed, I'll link the Mercari page below. And then, yeah, I'm not looking to do like a cut my collection in half. I'm not a minimalist by any stretch of the imagination. I have a whole flower wall with a neon sign, so definitely not a minimalist here. I definitely just love makeup, and I love playing in makeup. Sometimes I just sit in my beauty room and swatch stuff and enjoy what I have. And if you have a problem with me using my makeup like that, I mean, obviously I also use it on my face, but if you have a problem with that, you can just go ahead and exit out of the video now. This one's not for you, and that is totally fine. So enough housekeeping, let's get into the actual declutter. All right, I'm fairly certain this is all of my bronzers. So I'll start with the cream first. Technically this is like a palette. It's bronzer, blush, and highlight. You can tell I don't really like the highlight that much. This is from Alley Oop, and this is in the shade Sassy Pants. Got this in a BoxyCharm. I don't really tend to gravitate towards cream highlighter much, but two, it's a little bit slightly dark on me. The blush I think is pretty. And then the bronzer I really like. Like this one, I think I can at least pan, if not finish, at some point. I like the tone of this. It's not too yellow or orangey on my skin. It blends out nicely. It dries down. So that one I like. So I'll definitely be keeping that. This Tarte bronzer in the shade Breezy. This is a cream bronzer, and I've tried to declutter this a couple of times. Like, the packaging is falling apart. I always chicken out because I'm like, man, it was so expensive. This is a travel size, but it's very, it's a little too deep for me. And even like sheared out, it's a little too orange for my taste. I'm finally going to go ahead and let that one go. So get rid of. It's a really pretty formula. I wish there had been like one shade lighter for me, or maybe a little bit cooler of a tone. And then this Shayna B Miami bronzer in the shade Beach Babe. I also got this in BoxyCharm, which I was like, honestly, a little bit disappointed at first, but it's not that bad. It is a little yellowy orange, but you know, if it's a lighter shade, the like little bit of yellowy orangishness doesn't bother me. So it's a little warm, which I do like some warmth to my bronzer sometime, and it's not as reddish orange as this. So I'll keep that. And then I have this contour and highlight stick from NYX in the shade Fair. And this is kind of like those ColourPop blush sticks where like a lot of product comes in here. I've been working on this one for a while, and I do feel like this is genuinely like a cool contour shade. So I do like it. It's the only contour I have because I don't really contour that much. But some days I do kind of feel the need for it. Or I use it as like a cooler toned bronzer. It depends on the day. So keeping this one, and this one. The highlight side in this broke a long time ago. I really should just toss it, but I cannot be bothered with the broken side. Again, I don't like highlight in cream form that much, so if it's that difficult for me to work with it, I don't even want to bother. And it's also very gold on me. So keeping 3 and decluttering 1. Okay, I don't have a huge bronzer collection. Obviously, it's more than what one person needs. But I do like having a little bit of a variety in my bronzers between, you know, higher end and drugstore. Yeah, so I have 7 powder bronzers, and we'll see. This is the Sunbath Baked Bronzer in the shade Play from Contact Skin. This was like the in-house Ipsy brand that they got rid of and closed, which I hate because I actually really liked a lot of their products, and I really loved their brushes too. So this one I really like. It's a little bit on the cooler tone, which I really like using when I have like a cooler tone look, because I don't want to go too terribly warm with my bronzer. And then I have the Ulta Beauty Baked Bronzer in, oh yeah, that's right, this comes in 1 shade, which was always my complaint about this one, which they have like a little like face palette with a baked bronzer that I think comes in like light to medium and maybe medium to dark, or maybe light and medium, I'm not sure. But this one is like a luminous bronzer. It doesn't have sparkle in it. It's just like a beautiful luminosity to it. It is definitely warmer than this Contact Skin one. So I like the difference between these two, and I tend to lean towards this one more when I'm doing more warmer looks. I never really featured it very much because the shade range is trash. I just had wanted to try a baked bronzer to see if I liked it or not at an affordable price. And I do, but if I'm going to use a drugstore bronzer on camera, I'm probably going to use the Milani. This is the Silky Matte Bronzing Powder in the shade 01 Sunlight. And this, I think, is a really great bronzer for fair-toned people, because it's blendable, it's buildable, it has just enough warmth to be a bronzer, and not so much that you're looking orange. It's not too cool toned, so it's not really a contour, it's definitely a bronzer. And it's like not flat matte, but it's also not as luminous as this baked bronzer. It's like the perfect in between to me. And then there's the e.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer in the shade Forever Sunkissed, which I thought they were discontinuing, but I saw that they brought their primer infused blushes back, so I haven't checked to see if they brought the bronzers back either. But it's a nice formula. I don't use this one quite as much. I honestly mainly kept it around in case I wanted to do a full face of e.l.f., but I don't know. I feel like I have it. I'll use it. It's slightly warmer than the Milani is. It's kind of got the same finish to it. I feel like it's a good affordable option if they still sell it in multiple shades. I am honestly not sure. And then we have 3. Like Kimchi, I would say is more of an indie brand, and these I would say are more high end. This Kimchi Chic I got in a beauty box. I want to say I got it in a BoxyCharm. And this is the Thaler bronzer in the shade 01. I went to Malibu. And I've used a good bit of this, but lately, I don't know, like I've kind of fallen off of using it. It feels a little orangey warm. Yeah, like it's just a little bit deeper of like an orangey warm. You know, if I want to build up some pigment, it gets a lot more orange than it does when I was building these up. So this one, I'm like on the fence about if I want to keep it or not. I kind of feel like I may put this on my chopping block and use it a few more times and see how I feel about how it looks with my makeup. Specifically, maybe some warm tone looks. Maybe I was using it with cool tone looks, not really thinking about it. So I'm going to hold off on decluttering this, but if I were to declutter one, it probably would be this. Then I have the Tarte Park Ave Princess. This is the waterproof bronzer. There's a couple different versions of this. I've seen like a much more luminous one, and I don't know what version that one is. This one is kind of matte. It's kind of like the other finishes where it's got like a little bit of a sheen to it, but not too much. And I feel like it has a little bit more of a yellowish gold sheen to it than these do, but not quite as much as the Ulta one does. So I really like this. I think it's a really beautiful bronzer, and maybe someday I'll hit pan in this little travel size. Probably not anytime soon. And then finally, I have the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer. I wanted this one for a while and finally got it at, I think at TJ Maxx. It smells yummy, like cocoa, like the Tarte products do. And this one, again, I just think it's a beautiful shade. It's a little bit more on like the yellow side, less on the like bright orange warmth like that one. So I definitely want to keep this one. I think it's a really pretty formula. It blends beautifully. It builds nicely. Wow, I have so much cat hair on my shirt. Sorry, y'all. Apparently snuggling my cat earlier today really did some damage here. She was laying on my left sleeve. We're just gonna roll that up and pretend we didn't see that, right? Okay, so that's all my bronzers. I think honestly, I don't really feel overwhelmed by having this many. You know, 7 of them doesn't really bother me too much. I obviously have plenty of room to store them. Yeah, so even if I wanted to get rid of the kimchi, you know, great, that would leave me with 6, but I don't feel overwhelmed and like I have too much bronzer or too much of the same thing. We're just gonna stick this cream one in here. And then I just have these 2. All right, so keeping 10 total bronzers, including cream, and decluttering just the 1. Okay, so these are all of my highlighters that aren't just straight up powder highlights. So first we have this JLo Beauty That Star Filter Complexion Booster, which I don't know if this is technically supposed to be in like highlight or if it's supposed to be more in like a, you know, highlighty primer. I'm not really sure. In any case, let's swatch it. I was not a big fan when I swatched this. However, I was swatching it the day it arrived, which it had sat in some really hot weather in the mailbox. And so maybe the formula was just not quite all there. I mean, it's a pretty highlight, but like, how much do I use cream highlight? Not a lot. I feel like this one is easy enough for me to pass along. It's pretty. It's in an, you know, it's in like, you know, a pump. So it'd be really easy for me to pass this along without any, you know, concerns of contamination. And then I have this Illamasqua Beyond Liquid Highlighter in the shade OMG. And this one I have had for a bit and I haven't really used that much. And honestly, it looks pretty similar to the JLo highlight. Well, it's a little bit more ba-ba-boom, but I can sheer it out more. And to me, it looks pretty much the same. This one maybe looks a tad bit more natural. Yeah, I mean, I don't use liquid highlight enough. I think one is plenty. I do sometimes like to mix the liquid highlight with my primer and make like my own like halo glow or whatever people are on these days, like the e.l.f. Then I have this sunshine stick from Awake by Tarte, and I don't know what this is supposed to do for you, but it does basically nothing for me. I think it's just supposed to give like a healthy glow to your skin, but I don't know. It does pretty much nothing other than move my makeup. So I got this again in a BoxyCharm. Like I think, yes, all of these right here were received in BoxyCharm. Which, by the way, I have canceled my subscription. I just have one more box I'll be getting, and then I'll be done. So this I'm definitely getting rid of, this I'm getting rid of, and this I'm keeping. Then I have this Maracuja Juicy Glow by Tarte, and this is one where like you click up the stick and you can't like roll it back down. And it looks pretty dark, but it does blend out nicely. And this I feel does give kind of like a healthy glow to the skin, without changing the color of my skin too much. It's a little bit dark, but over makeup it blends out pretty nicely. Hopefully that can be seen because my lighting here is awful because it is so gloomy. Yeah, we have no natural sunlight to be seen today. Then I have my ColourPop, and this is In the Groove. It's a loose powder highlighter, which, like, being 100%, I don't use loose powder highlight very much. This is very glittery, but fun to me. You know, just if I'm going to a concert and I want like a little something something on like my shoulders or the clavicle, like I just think this is a fun highlight. It's not hurting me by having it. It's a powder. I have plenty of space to store things. I just need better organization, which I'm working on. Okay, then I have, I think this one's Lunch Money. Yes, this is Lunch Money. It's kind of a classic. I've used it a decent bit. I would say. And I just think it is a beautiful, just natural looking highlight if you have fair skin. So this one I really like, and I'm definitely keeping. And then I have Flexitarian, which this one is also like a classic, and this is more like silvery and like seen from space, which sometimes I enjoy. So I'm definitely going to keep this because it's really pretty. It looks nice on fair skin. It's fun, and I like fun. And then I have Seismic, which this one is like Flexitarian, but to me has more glitter in it. Like it has reflex of pink glitter. And again, it's just fun. It's not hurting me to have it. I enjoy it. I don't use it a ton, but I own it. You know, if Flexitarian and Seismic expired today, I don't feel like I would run out and repurchase them or replace them with something else. But as long as I have them, I'm going to enjoy them. Because my intent here is to keep things that bring me joy. So that's what we're doing. And I actually forgot, I think 2 more, so I'll be right back. All right, so I forgot that ColourPop has these components as well that have Super Shocks. So this one is Candy Floss, and this was from the Candyland collab that they did. And I don't like these containers very much. Like the components are a little difficult in my opinion. And this one, again, is a lot like Seismic, but it's more pink based with pink flip and silver reflect. And I think it's super fun and I like fun. So we're going to keep it. And then I have probably my favorite ColourPop highlight, which this is the collab that they did with Barbie in the shade Beach Party. And I love the Barbie collection. Like, it was just, that to me was like some of peak ColourPop, which other people probably will disagree, but I don't care. I have a decent sized pan on it. I'm trying to use like all around that, kind of avoiding this area a little bit depending on where I'm putting it. But I really would love to get a lot of use out of at least this area of it before it goes off. It's currently still performing beautifully. This one is a little bit more on the goldy side than what I typically go for, but I do find that it's beautiful on the skin. It's beautiful. Blended out. Yeah, so I love it as an inner corner highlight as well. Hopefully you guys can see that. I can't see what you can see because my setup sucks, but it's much better than it used to be. So I'm not complaining. I am keeping 8 and I am decluttering 2, and I'm totally fine with that. I'd be fine if I decluttered 0 highlights because I freaking love highlights. I have a good bit of powder highlights, I think. Let's start with drugstore, which I feel like is enough of a representation of drugstore, but clearly I have a type. So first I have Mary Luminizer, which I got this little baby off of Amazon because I just wanted to try it. I just wanted to try Mary Luminizer and see how I felt about it. And honestly, this is not too different from the shade of the Barbie highlight that I love so much. So I definitely think it's a beautiful highlight, and I'm definitely going to keep that. I don't see myself getting rid of many, if any, highlights, but we'll see how this goes. And then I have the J-Cat You Glow Girl. This is in the shade Crimson Gleam. And it is a beautiful pink highlight. Sheared out with a brush, it is gorgeous. And then I have this Physicians Formula Rosé All Day Petal Glow in the shade Soft Petal. It still smells like tea rose. I've had it since like 2020. And it is a pink highlight for sure. But it's got like not as much base pigment as the J-Cat one. So it kind of like shears out a little more beautifully to be like this, literally like a rose gold shade on the cheeks. So definitely keeping that one. And then I have, this is a shade from a BH Cosmetics palette. There was a shade in it that broke, and then I just didn't use any of the other ones, but I couldn't let go of this one. So I kept this one shade, and somehow it like perfectly fits in this Makeup Geek single palette that I have. But it's just, it's a beautiful duochrome, like light gold to pink shift. And I just couldn't let go of it. I couldn't help it. And then this is an e.l.f. baked highlight, and this is the shade Moonlight Pearls. My bad. Moonlight Pearls. And I think this is a pretty like baked, kind of like a natural shade, like just your lit from within kind of highlight. It's nothing like super blingy. It's nothing that's going to be like seen from outer space. I don't use it too much, but I do like to keep it around for like full face of purposes. In case I ever decide I want to do a full face of e.l.f. again, or a full face of drugstore. Of course, I could use one of my other drugstore ones, but I feel like this is a pretty popular one, and as long as they still have it, I probably will keep it around. And you can definitely still get Mary Lou, and you can still get this J-Cat one, I know for sure. I think you can still get this Physicians Formula one. It's at least in a palette that they still sell, but I don't know if you can still get the single. Okay, so I have two from Odin's Eye. I got Warm Sunshine, which again, this packaging is gorgeous. And so this one is like a yellowish gold, but kind of like has a little bit of, yeah, just like a very light yellow base pigment to it. It doesn't have like a crazy flip or anything. It's just pretty. All right, so keeping that one, let me put these out the way. So hopefully this thing can focus better. And then I also got Rose Sky. And this one is a little bit more like seen from space and flippy. It had an overspray that, I'm pretty sure this one had an overspray that I've since worn away, but it still has a lot of flip to it. So it's like the, it's a lot like the J-Cat one, honestly, but It just has a little bit more of like a glitter look to it and like differentiation between the particles. So I don't wear this one on an everyday basis, but it's fun. I enjoy it. Let's keep in with the indie brand. All right. These 8 were in like a set. It's like the space age set that my husband got for me. And I'll be honest, I was overwhelmed at first when I opened it, but I love these. So this one is Star Surfer, which this one is like a basic, like light pink, almost like a champagne or rosy champagne. I don't know. I'm not very good at explaining stuff. I don't know why I'm here. Hopefully that's focusing. So that's Star Surfer. And then we have Mars Melter, which is like a deeper pink. A lot of these I like to use as inner corner highlights or toppers on eyeshadow looks too. So I don't necessarily wear these on my cheeks much. I do sometimes. Sometimes I want some fun. But yeah, these are definitely pretty versatile in that way. And then you have Skywalker, which is like a white with blue flip, like a light blue. And then Moon Cruiser. I think they're discontinuing the highlighters. I saw something weird though, that like they've got them available at select Urban Outfitters, which I don't think there's an Urban Outfitter anywhere near me. But this one is like a blue purple flip. And then we have Ray Rider, which this one to me is like your basic everyday kind of like color, like more of a, more of like a natural looking highlight on me. And then Solar Sailor, which this one is beautiful. It's a like white with yellow. Like, I don't know if you can see that flip. So pretty. Didn't mean to flick you guys off, my bad. So I love these. I think they're so fun. These, however, I would say, you know, if you're looking to get something fun and special from Kaleidos and you don't want all of those, I would say Space Age Prophecy and the Gifted highlighters are like my favorite. I know I've seen a bunch of them like secondhand on Mercari or Poshmark. But this just has like a beautiful flip to it, like a pink, almost green, like very icy. And then I think Gifted is probably my favorite. Like, I have a pretty decent divot in this one from using it as an inner corner or a topper so much. It's like an amped up version of ColourPop's Ice Dream Super Shock. But I love both, so I'm definitely holding on to all of my Kaleidos. Okay, so I have this Ciate Glow 2 highlighter in the shade Moon Dust. And this one, I feel like I got it as an add-on in Ipsy. And I feel like it might be a little similar to Ray Rider, maybe? Ray Rider has a little less pigment and is not quite as rosy. I feel like they're different enough, and the packaging brings me joy. So we're keeping things that bring us joy. And the Pina Colada highlighter from Glamlight, I definitely bought on a like whim. This was definitely an impulse purchase. And it's not too much different, but it is a little more like bright gold than these two. Look at me, justifying. And then I have this Tarte Champagne Glow. This one is just like a little baby travel size. And again, a different tone than the other gold champagne-y ones. I don't know what we're doing here. And then I have this MAC Double Gleam highlighter. It's the Extra Dimension Skin Finish in the shade Double Gleam. And I know I got this one at TJ Maxx. And again, like, it's super light and bright. And these are all just different enough for me to justify keeping them. Please don't hate me. And then I have the Stila. This was a gift from my husband. It's the shade Kitten. And I maybe should have swatched this with the pinks. Yeah, I'll probably re-swatch this with the pinky ones. Although it is pretty similar to that one, but that one has more glitter in it. Or is that glitter from all the swatching I've been doing? I can't tell. It doesn't matter. These all make me happy. All right, so I've got this Bobbi Brown highlighting powder in the shade Pink Glow. And this one, I'm pretty sure I also got as like an Ipsy add-on. It's beautiful. How different is it from Kitten? Like, are we different enough? Oh yeah, Kitten's lighter. And then Pat McGrath, I have this one in the shade Venusian Nude. Or Venusian Nude. Like, look at that. That's so pretty. This is honestly one of my most favorite highlighters. I've been using it so much lately. It's got like some shimmer and glimmer, and it's just so fun to look at. And then finally, I have the Ofra highlighter in the shade Pillow Talk, and I'm pretty sure I got this at Ulta during a sale not too long ago. And that's like one of my only true like pink highlighters that's not from the drugstore. So we did great. Okay, so I kept 23 highlighters and I got rid of none. Now, I will say that having these highlighters are going to allow me to get rid of some face palettes that I desperately need to get rid of. But yeah, this was uneventful but fun. So I'm gonna go put these away now. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I always have a great time hanging out with you guys, and love it when you comment below any mistakes you think I made, you know, things I got rid of that I shouldn't have, things that I kept that I probably should get rid of already, and anything that you've had on your wish list that you saw me swatch and you're like, Jennifer, girl, stop it. I'm already spending enough money, because I really like it when other people feel that struggle like I do when I watch these. I do love watching collection and declutter videos. They're so relaxing for me. So I hope you enjoyed. If you like this video, I do hope you'll give me a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already, if you could hit that subscribe button for me. And other than that, I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are. Bye.